HiDive, what are you doing? HiDive, what are you doing? This is so out of left field. I don't even know how to respond to this. It's like, we're not, like, even 15 hours, I think. Yeah, 15 hours and 53 minutes away from Oshinoko Season 3 airing. Like, the premiere is happening literally tomorrow. And they come out of nowhere with the announcement of, hey, we're going to stream this too. We're going to stream Season 3 too. Stay tuned for more information. Stay tuned? It's literally tomorrow. Like, what is there to stay tuned to? Like, what's your schedule? What? I'm guessing you're not going to actually broadcast it on the day of it actually being? Like, what are we doing here? To give some people some context here, because not everybody's like in the know on this stuff, but yes, HiDive, the streaming platform, as some amazing move, they got season 1 and additionally season 2 of Oshinoko. And it was a massive pull because I thought for sure Crunchyroll would want that. Kaguya-sama Love is War, which is the same creator, is very successful on their platform. Why would they not want Oshinoko as well? But out of nowhere, HiDive came in and said, sweep, we got this thing, and it was huge for them. They got record-breaking subs. It was that big for them. And I thought at the time, this is your chance. HiDive, if you want to compete with Crunchyroll, take all this money and reinvest it into this platform. You have to pull people in. You got to get bigger titles. Unfortunately, after a while, they just end up dying. And I really do feel like back in October, when Crunchyroll came out of nowhere and said, we got season 3, I'm like, HiDive's dead. Like, this is literally the death knell. Like, they literally took their best property. HiDive let Crunchyroll take their best property. Now, there's a lot of people that were speculating, oh no, HiDive still has Oshinoko, because some people believe that if you get season 1, you always get season 2. That's not the case. There's points where they'll have sort of agreements to have these sequels, but it's not always the case. And this is obviously a case of that, because Crunchyroll got it. And HiDive was saying nothing, and that told me that Crunchyroll basically got it. There was no chance it was going to be on HiDive's platform unless Crunchyroll allowed them to have it, because in pretty much all these cases, they want exclusivity. I'm sorry, as much as I am with a lot of people that I want every title on every platform, these companies, business-wise, they don't want anybody else to have it. Yes, Crunchyroll is going to allow Netflix to have their titles on their platform every now and then. That's a lot to kind of bring people from Netflix to their platform. But they don't want like a smaller company like HiDive that the sub cost is cheaper to have their title, because then people are just going to go to that platform instead of them. It doesn't benefit them in any way. But here we are. Even though this happened, Crunchyroll said we have season 3. Out of nowhere, HiDive's like, we have it. Stay tuned. Now let's go to the actual post that they have here. They say, HiDive to simulcast Oshinoko season 3. Now, remember that word simulcast, because this is kind of a very interesting word to have in here. The highly anticipated season 3 of Oshinoko will stream on the anime platform this January, adapting the award-winning manga created by Akasaka. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Came an overnight sensation. Oshinoko Season 3 will premiere this January as part of HiDive's Winter 2026, which is very poor little list they have there, a simulcast season, and will be available to subscribers in both US and Canada and key overseas markets including UK, Ireland, Australia, New Zealand. Episode schedule information will be released soon. Stay tuned. Stay tuned for more information. It's literally not even 16 hours away from the recording of this video, but stay tuned. I'm sorry. We got the news out of the way. Let's get into my speculation here. I'm sorry. I don't think HiDive has any control over the situation, and they're taking what they can get. And it's odd that they've waited this long to really jump to this whole situation and say something. My guess is, since it's literally tomorrow, my guess is this is something that has been finally approved. Like, they were fighting for something, they wanted something, and finally, and my guess is here, Crunchyroll finally said, okay, you can have it. Okay, you can do this whole thing. But there's going to be a lot of stipulation here and a but factor. And the idea that I think that there's going to be a lot of restrictions for what HiDive can do. I can see this going two different ways. One being, no matter what, Crunchyroll's got it. Crunchyroll is going to be airing it. They even have on here already, they're tuned in for tomorrow. Literally, when tomorrow hits, January 14th, when the premiere happens, Crunchyroll's got it. When it comes to HiDive and when they're going to get it, my assumption is that it's going to go two different ways. The first is going to be the fact that they will have the first episode be delayed, because again, I think this is probably just last minute approved. The first episode is probably going to take some time to release, maybe within a week, maybe 2 weeks. They're saying January, so it's got to be within the next 2 weeks. There's a potential that following episodes will be released on the same day that it's broadcast in Japan and that Crunchyroll will have it. But I'm more leaning towards the second here, in that HiDive got Crunchyroll to agree to allow them to simulcast it, which that's a very loose term there, simulcast it, but on a 1 week delay. That every single episode will be on HiDive, but it'll be a week after Crunchyroll has it. Because again, from a business standpoint, they don't want somebody to have their titles for cheaper somewhere else. But they will allow it if, again, they get paid for it and you put on delay, because then nobody's going to wait. And this, again, this is one of those troubling things of like, I kind of wonder, I hope that HiDive didn't pay much for this because I don't see anybody waiting. If you're not going to have it on the day of it broadcasting, nobody's going to wait. They're going to go over to Crunchyroll and watch it there, or they're going to watch it on other sites, obviously. Even if people don't want to support Crunchyroll and they're fine with it watching on HiDive, they're still going to watch it on other sites because they're not going to want to wait. Either way, it's not going to work out for them. It's just through and through, this whole situation's weird. And I think the biggest weird thing is that this is such a late posting here, that it took them so long to finally announce something, which tells me this is like a last-minute final decision here. Now, there is one interesting thing that I noticed here, and that is the availability. With Crunchyroll, it's North America, Central America, South Europe, Africa, Oceania, the Middle East, CIS, India, and Southeast Asia. And with HiDive, they list, obviously, US and Canada, which would be the North Americas, minus Mexico, obviously. Then you have UK, Ireland, Australia, New Zealand. So there's a few differences here, which is kind of interesting. And that could kind of open the door to at least those locations potentially having, like, on the day of. I think I'm more surprised about how limited Crunchyroll's list is. And which, with everything else, is very open. So this could mean there's a little bit more conflict here than I originally given. Now, granted, again, Farron's pretty similar as well, so it's not, like, exclusive to Oshinoko. It's just kind of an oddity that I noticed there. There may be some other stuff working in the background. But again, through and through, I think with how delayed this is, this has to be something allowed of HiDive from Crunchyroll. Because again, I do believe that Crunchyroll has this, like, through and through. Otherwise, it wouldn't have taken this long to say anything. But we'll see. Very, very interesting time. Very interesting little timeline we're in right now. I honestly, like I said before, I felt like when HiDive lost Oshinoko, it was a death knell. And they've been spiraling out ever since then. Because every season, they get less and less. Like, for the last, like, it feels like 2 years at this point, it's like maybe 2 or 3 titles a season. And they're just, like, the most oddball titles that aren't that big and nobody cares about. That's the unfortunate thing, but we'll see. But that's the news. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it informative. I hope you found it entertaining. Watching me being like, what? What? But y'all take care.